The man we spoke with is a U.S. citizen. He provided us with documentation of his legal status. He says this experience has shaken his faith in the immigration enforcement efforts of President Donald Trump, for whom he voted, he says. This is what Yenzi Machado managed to record on his phone Wednesday. He says while he was driving to work with two other men, he was stopped by ICE agents on Lamont Drive in Manassas, a short distance from his home. He says he was confused by what was happening, why agents surrounded the pickup truck. He spoke with our sister station, Telemundo 44 reporter Rose Beliz Quinones, who was the first to report his story.
And they just got out of the car with the guns in their hands and say, turn off the car, give me the keys, open the window. You know, everything was really fast.
Machado says the agents said the name of a man they were seeking for a deportation order, someone who had given Machado's home address. He said that was not his name, and he did not know anyone by that name. He offered to show them this, his Real ID compliant Virginia driver's license. It has a star in the upper right corner and requires proof of lawful status.
How to avoid being detained by ICE in America, and how to get real ID step by steps. So if you are a tourist or foreigners visiting the US, it's very important that you have your passport with a stamp or visa in your hand, or at least photos of your passport and your visa, right? The best way would be having a passport in your hand. And if you are a US citizen, or if you have green card, permanent resident in the US, or work permit, whatever it is, if you have those cards, green card, just keep it, at least a photo of it. And if you have a real ID, that will be much easier. What is a real ID? A real ID is you need to show a legal status to get this ID. So basically, if your driver license or ID have a star on the top right or anywhere, then it means that you are in the States legally, right? So this gentleman was trying to show the real ID, but ICE did not want to see it at the beginning, and he got handcuffed. Then he showed real ID. After that, they released him. So it's very important you have at least a real ID, or if you are a resident in America, or if you are a tourist, have your passport with a visa and have a stamp on it, and at all times. Now is the time that, especially during the President Trump presidency, it's getting really tight. I believe that ICE or all the immigration officers, they have a numbers to deport, deportation numbers they have to meet. So it may be a little bit strict time to travel to the US, but US has so many beautiful places that you can visit. I think these are the instances that could be rare and that you may not see often. I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet. So far so good. But he was driving to home. It's very short distance, but he got pulled over by the officer. So that means that it could happen to anybody, even when you're driving to your job, coming back home, or shopping, whatever. So let's continue listening. What was the issue? Why he got detained? So they were looking for a person to deport. That person gave his address, right? But it's not him, so it's a different person. So that's why one of the reasons why he got detained. But there's one more reason. So let's go and continue listening to the video.
ID. I was telling the officer if I can.
They didn't even ask for ID. That was really, really sloppy. Right? If you want to arrest somebody, you should ask for at least an ID first to make sure it's the right person. So what do you think? Do you think the officer did a bad job, or do you think it's just an unfortunate event? Comment down below.
I can give him the ID, but he said that just keep my hands up, not moving. And then after that, he told me to get out of the car, and then he put the handcuffs on me. And then he went to me and said, how did I get into this country? And if I was waiting for court or if I have any case. And I told him I was an American citizen. And he looked at his other partner like smiling, like saying, can you believe this guy? Because he asked the other guy, do you believe him?
Machado said he was uncuffed and immediately released after showing his driver's license. The two men with him were taken into custody. He does not know why. The incident has caused him to reflect.
Definitely, because like I say, I was Trump supporter. I voted for Trump last elections, but because I thought it was going to be the things, like be pointless, like just go against criminals, not every illegal Hispanic looking like that they will assume we are illegals.
So, do you think that's what they're doing now?
That's what they're doing now. They're just following Hispanic people looking like.
Immigrate.
So this gentleman voted for Trump, right? He voted for Trump because he thought that Trump's gonna go after only criminals. So right now, he got detained for no reason, no question asked. He tried to show his ID several times. Officer told him, don't touch it, don't do anything, right? So he got handcuffed. Now he's kind of regretting that he voted for Trump. So what do you think? Did anybody vote for Trump? Comment down below. Or did anybody vote for Kamala Harris? Somebody else, comment down below. So yeah, I think he's kind of regretting because ICE officer seems to go after Hispanic looking people, Do you think there could be another reason? Maybe he looks like somebody terrible or whatever. I think personally, nobody should be targeted just because of their race or religions or their gender, whatever that is, right? It's not fair, it's not good. So as people who love justice, we should not just keep quiet, right? If you just keep quiet, that could happen to you and your family anytime, right? So yeah, so that was a very, very unfortunate event, but it's good that he's speak up. Then people's gonna know, and yeah, just be careful if you're traveling in the US. Just make sure you have a legal document all the times. If you are residents, make sure you keep it all the time and get a real ID. So in a few minutes, I'm gonna tell you how to get real ID step by step. So let's continue watching.
Suggests that residents and citizens carry ID with them at all times. In Manassas, Jackie Benson.
Right, carry the ID at all times, right? Make sure you carry ID or passport or with a visa at all times. It's very, very important. US is a great place to travel. I travel all around the US, and there were not so many incidents I encounter. Generally I had very presence traveling around the US. So I would suggest you do travel around the US, especially if you know somebody local, right? And you have a valid visa, you don't have any criminal record, whatever. If you are a green card holder or any resident, if you have a criminal record in the past, probably I would suggest not to travel at this time, especially with a flight, right? There are some reports of actual green card holders getting detained because they had some minor record, right? Not even criminal record, just minor record in the past, like 10, 20 years ago. So they try to make it all, moral mistakes as a criminal record, so which could make you uncomfortable. So if you have any records, just don't take flights, just out of extra caution. But if you are a tourist, you have no criminal records, you have a valid visa, there is nothing to be worried about, in my opinion. So let's go look at how to get a real ID in New York. Let's say you live in New York, right? Let's say you live in California, doesn't matter. You just change the place. You can Google it, how to get a real ID in New York. So in New York, you need to visit the DMV office and make a reservation online first. Then bring required documents like proving your identity, address, and lawful status, right? So if you cannot get it by phone or by online, you need to go to the office. Make a reservation online. Then after that, bring your proof of identity that shows your full legal name, date of birth, and social security number, right? Social security number and proof of identity. It could be your green card, right? It could be your passport, and that have your legal name and date of birth, and it could also be social security number. At least bring two documents. Social security number will be one document, and the other will be passport or green card or whatever that you have. Proof of address shows that you are living in this address. At least two. It could be your utility statements, it could be your telephone bills, it could be your lease, your rent, payments with the address on it, or your bank statements, your credit card statement with your address on it, your name on it, right? The lawful status is very simple. You're a green card holder, just bring your green card. If you are a visa, long-term resident visa, or permanent resident visa, just show the visa. And work permit, students, whatever it is, just show them. And then this form, complete the application form and document that. And you also could get the enhanced ID, right? Enhanced ID is just like real ID purposes. You can be used for land, sea, or travel to Canada, Mexico, and some Caribbean countries. Yeah, real ID, there's a deadline. May 7, 2025 is the last day federal government will require your driver license to be real ID, permit or ID card, right? So you need it to board a flight for the domestic flight. So if you have any question, comment down below. And how to live life without worries, right? He was driving to his job for a short distance. He got detained, he got handcuffed. So it's very important. Learn high income skills that could give you financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. So if you know those skills, right, you can stay home at all times during the disaster or whatever, during these difficult times. You can stay home, or you can live outside of the US, travel around the world, right? So that's very important to learn high income skills. Freedom, that gives you freedom. So if you want to learn more, you can go to Rich Freedom Dragon, travel, adventure, lifestyle. Go to my playlist. I retire young and retire rich before 30 to travel around the world and to change people's lives. So I want to help you retire. So if you want to open any account like stock investing, whatever, the link's gonna be in my YouTube channel description, comment down below. If you have any question about retire early, retire rich, comment down below. I will try to answer the first few comments. Share, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye.